Hey, it's Mark, RPM Tesla. If you have a Tesla and you have cables in your house, you're probably using one of our cable organizers. So this is a very nice one. This works great. It mounts right on the wall. You plug in the cable when you're done, and you wrap your cords around it. Many people are tired of leaving these on the floor, hanging on the ground. So cable organizers are great. Keeps everything up off the ground, no risk of it shorting out or getting wet or having any issues with the very expensive home charging cord. So you may have your cables like this wrapped around something. You may have them laying on the floor, but putting them in a cable organizer is a smart idea. Anyway, now we've been selling lots of these for quite a while. It's great because the cables all hang like this and it supports it. You move it away from the plug. We have your 220 plugged in. We have our new version now, the Rocket Edition. This one's a little nicer. It holds more weight. It's got actual lag bolts that mount in the drywall. And if you like SpaceX, it is similar to a rocket. So it's kind of our SpaceX tribute cable organizer. We're going to give you an instruction sheet. We're going to tell you everything you need to have to install it. Everything is included but the tools. So you're going to need a number 4 Allen and a Phillips screwdriver head. So you need a number 4 Allen, a Phillips screwdriver head, and a 3/8 or a 5/16 inch drill bit. And we're going into the drywall. So anyway, that's all you need. Hopefully, before we ship these out, we'll be able to include the Allen wrench. So let's take a look at what's in the box. Again, everything is here to show you how to drill it, how to line it up. We're going to do our full installation in a minute. And we'll do the before and after photos. But this is a nice silicone rubber mount. This is real nice. This is going to be right in the base. So every time you plug it in, it's going to be hanging like that. It's not going to fall down. So this is great for holding the end of the nozzle. This is the sliding tray. That's going to hold everything that we're going to show you. And this is the rocket version of the cable holder. So in here, we're going to keep this inside, and it's going to work just like this. So you're going to have this rocket mounted on the wall with the cables wrapped around it. These are the molly bolts or lag bolts. I think this is all in. And then we got a couple screws. And let's get started with the installation right now. And we'll be right back to show you how to mount it to drywall. Okay, so now we want to take all of the lag bolts out and the screws. And also, I forgot to mention, this is a nice base that holds the actual Tesla mount, so it's not hanging down. So you can mount this, put it right below your plug. You can swing it to the side, whatever you want to do. Everyone has different configurations, but this will hold the weight of the actual inverter, which is taking it from AC, from 220, and putting it into the car so it's converted into DC power. Okay, let's get started now and show you how to do this. Okay, and again, most people's 220 NE15 or the 30 amp is usually not mounted with a box sticking out. So this will sit nice and flush on the wall, holding or supporting the weight of the plug. Okay, so let's get started. First thing to do is to pick a location where you want to mount your rocket cable organizer. So you're going to pick a spot, make sure it's level, and hit it with a drill and mark the wall. 1, 2, 3. Anything you mark it with is fine. Now we have our location. Now we're going to take the drill, 3/8 or 5/16, sorry, and go straight through, nice and slow. Go all the way through your drywall. And again, we're doing this in real time, so everyone knows how long it takes. Then we're going to mount the lag bolts on the back. Make sure your holes line up. Everything good. So these are connected by taking the screw out, putting the screw through the holes, excuse me, and then connecting and threading on the lag bolts. So we'll do this for all three. And then we're going to slide them right in the wall, and then they're going to expand. So they're really going to be able to take a lot of weight. There's different lengths that are made in these home cords. So you don't want it coming loose. All right. So now we're going to slide them in. And then, of course, when we open them up, they're going to expand. So they're expansion bolts. Okay, so line up the bottom two, get started, line up the top one, and push it on through. There we go. And you gotta kind of wiggle it back and forth and push. And we'll get it nice and snug and flush. And then we're going to tighten them up. So once we get it flush on the wall, we'll lock it down. Now, of course, by tightening these, we're going to be making them expand on the drywall. Use that to push them on real tight and snug. And now we're going to rotate them clockwise, like you're tightening up the drill bit or a bit. Nice and straight. You can make little adjustments now. And power tool sure makes it easier. Set it to like a 2 setting for tape. Now that's strong. It's in there. You can almost stand on it. Okay, now this plate has to be inserted next. So again, this is going to hold the end of the charger. And you see there's 3 screws. We're going to put it in there. So it's going to look really awesome. Okay, so just take the drill with the Phillips head and put them on. Real time. And then the top one. So 3 screws total. That one will be a little trickier to get it started in there, but you can see how this is going to work. Pretty cool. It's like you're at the pump, supercharging. All right, looks pretty cool. Now we're going to take the plug and we'll hang it on there. So look at how it takes the weight, real easy. We'll get that all cleaned up nicely at the end. Now we're going to figure out where we're going to mount this. And again, this is going to be flush in your house. So again, we're just doing it to install it here. It's not necessarily needed. You don't have to use this if you don't want to. It's optional. But pick the location and put the 3 screws in. And figure out where you want to put it. Just like that'll be good. So we're going to mark it and put the 3 screws in. Again, it's not taking much weight. So put it where you want it and ignore the fact that we're not flush. Disconnect it. Mark it real quick. And then we're going to use 3 more of the lag nuts and drill out the hole. Now be careful if you got electricity behind it. Don't force anything. Just go right through the drywall. Nice. Okay, then we're going to use our 3 bolts. And again, always make sure the diameter is right, because these are going to expand when you put them in. So take the screws out, put the screw through the front, attach to the back, and it's kind of redundant here. Thread them all the way down. Easier to push them than start them. It's real-time installation. All right, we're ready. Okay. Again, we're pushing them through the drywall slowly by pushing directly on the heads. And then this is where we'll tap, tap, tap all the way through. And then we'll open up the expansion bolts once we get it in. It's a little easier because you're pushing right on the source that's going right through and not on the plastic. It's a little wiggle waggle. All right. That's it. Line it up straight. Tighten it. Watch the bolts expand. There we go. Okay, now the cradle here, I like to call it, is not going to be plugged in yet. We're just going to drop it in the cradle like this. See? Now that's flush against the wall, and then you'll plug it in, and you won't have a box out here 9 times out of 10. Okay, so now it's all hanging down. So this is how we like to do it here at RPM. We've got these outside our building, our little charging stations. But keep it nice and snug and neat. Your garage will look great. Hopefully your kids will coil them up every time they charge their car, right? It doesn't happen at our house. Anyway, there we go. Fits great. You can arrange it where you want. You could put this below it, on the right side, above it. It all depends on where your 220 plug is. And it is nice and clean and organized. No chance of getting wet. Okay, that's it. It's a cable organizer, Model 3, Model S, Model X, Model Y, Roadster, whatever you got. It'll work great as long as you have the new standard USA plug, the Tesla standard. and they're in stock now. Shipping same day. Thank you, RPM Tesla.